Welcome everybody to the last section in this course, which is called the final steps. And today we will take a look at how to publish our page, some of the Bootstrap best practices, and where to go from here. So to get us started, let's see how you can publish your page or project online. Now we will take a look at how to prepare the project or application for the upload process, how to use Git, how to use Amazon AWS, how to optimize our code, and finally how to upload the website itself to an online server. So to get us started, what we first want to take a look at is essentially our code structure. So most of the servers that we are using right now are localhost. Actually, we are using MAMP like we've discussed at the beginning. So essentially we are running PHP MySQL. Now your server could be set up on something else like Ruby on Rails, like ASP.NET, or something else, even like a Node server. In any case, if you're a front-end developer, you don't have to worry about things like these. In most cases, it will be enough for you that the main page is called index.html so that every server and every domain can point to it. Now, as you can see, when we are uploading our code, we need to essentially transfer everything that we have in our folder structure to the server. Now, again, the number one thing that you want to remember is when you're working on larger projects with a lot of people involved in the project, it might not be a bad idea to use something what is called Git or version control for your software. Essentially, what this will allow you to do is track every change that somebody makes, which will allow you to easily spot any problems, bugs, revert the code back to its original state, and just give you an easier and better way to develop your website. So for example, I've set up a GitHub project using our neighborhood app, and as you can see, I literally just published the whole project to a service called GitHub. Now, GitHub is one of the well-known Git SaaS applications where you essentially pay for hosting of your code and everything else on the GitHub servers itself. Of course, you can host your own version of Git on your own server if you want, but GitHub and, for example, Bitbucket just make this whole process a lot less painful, especially because they set up everything for you. They have software and applications that you can use like GitHub or Bitbucket's Git application. And essentially what we're doing here is we are tracking our changes. So as you can see, I made a small change to the styles.css and we're going to push there. So let's see, minimize CSS, and we're going to commit this. When we're, for example, working on another computer, we will always be able to grab the latest version of our code and pull it in. So to illustrate this, if we, for example, change something here like interact with flip to something like favorite flip dot hr, you will see that GitHub recognizes the change. It even highlights what the change was. So as you can see, it highlighted in red that we have changed interact with flip to favorite with flip. And now when we actually commit this small test, you always have to provide at least the subject of your commit. All other developers will be up to date with our code, including you if you are working with a lot of files and on a large project for a very long time. This will save you a lot of time. Now, when you become a more experienced developer, of course, you will be able to use Git to directly push to your server. For now, you can only use it to, for example, track the changes in your code and have a better and more streamlined approach to development. Now, what you want to do is, of course, before you use a tool to upload the website on your server, you want to optimize your code. So what we want to make sure is before we are pushing to our production server, there's no need to, for example, compile our SAS code with the option of expanded, but rather, for example, compact or compressed, where you will get a minified version of your CSS. So it's a lot less smaller in size and more production friendly. Of course, again, you could automate this whole process, but using Koala, it's very simple to do. Essentially, you just say that you want the output style to be compressed. You can also provide some other options like we reviewed at the beginning, and you can press compile, and that will be it. Another great resource that you could check out is what is called HTML5 Boilerplate. I would call this Bootstrap before there was Bootstrap. So essentially, when HTML5 came out, this was it wasn't a framework, but you can imagine it as a starting point and an introduction for everybody getting started with HTML5. And what this will provide you is it will give you a set of tools and set of defaults that you can use in your project. For example, I love their Apache htaccess configuration, which literally sets up your server for speed, for caching, for security. So you should definitely check this out. You also get, for example, the default code structure for a project. For example, this is an index.html example that they provide, and you could essentially use this as a boilerplate for all your other projects. They also have an extensive documentation on how to, for example, use Apple or Google or any other icons that you might want to use in your website, or even like how to minify JavaScript, how to properly use cross-domain or cross-origin requests and stuff like that. So it's not a bad idea to take a look at this. It will benefit you as a developer for sure, especially if you're running on Apache. Now, once you've handled your code, you need a place where you will upload it. And this is where Amazon AWS or Amazon Web Services come in. So you can imagine Amazon Web Services as the only single place where you would go for all your infrastructure needs. Amazon provides a lot of different products, ranging from servers, load balancing, sending push notifications, encoding videos, running databases. Literally everything that you would ever need for your application, you could probably find on Amazon. And one of the things that widely used is probably the Amazon EC2, which is essentially a web service that they provide where you can get up and running with a server in a matter of minutes. And the most interesting thing is that you, of course, pay by usage or by the hour. So you have a lot of pricing options. If you want a lot of customization options in terms of the server configuration itself, but you could get up and running quickly and easily, especially when they have a free tier where you could probably run a small version of a server online for some hours of the month, and you can have your application online at least for the testing phase of your project. And finally, once you have a server and a domain, you could use something like Transmit or some other version of an FTP tool that will allow you to essentially upload your file to a given server. So for example, I've just uploaded all my files to our dev.flip.hr server where we host a lot of our development projects. So all I needed to do is drag and drop from my hard drive to the server itself, and my application is online, up and running, and available for everybody to see.